Sequins and Salsa, but this time Craig Revel Horwood and Kevin Clifton are teaming up for a new stage show.
Strictly Ballroom, the musical, begins its UK tour next year, with Craig in the director's seat and Kevin taking on the lead role. And they both join us now. Hello,
Good
gentlemen.
morning.
How lovely to see you.
So lovely to see you too.
I haven't seen Kevin since he was fighting with a cube.
Oh, yeah. Well done, by the way.
It's all anyone wants to talk about nowadays. I was in a hotel just before lockdown, and the guy working there comes to me and he goes, "I know you from somewhere." And he couldn't work it out, and I was waiting for him to say Strictly Come Dancing, and then literally the next morning he comes to me and he goes, "I've got it, you're the fella off the Cube." And it's all he wanted to talk about.
Never in my life have I felt like that doing that show where he's balancing a ball on a plate.
It was almost unwatchable.
And that, we had to edit that, and it was like 25 minutes long.
Incredible. Incredible. You were amazing. Well done. However, what we're here to talk about is this musical. This is Strictly Ballroom, the musical. And Craig, is it the same as the movie? Because I know the movie, both of you actually, has a very special place in both your hearts. But is it similar to the storyline? How does it change up?
Yeah, it is similar to the storyline. The only difference is that Kevin, of course, will be singing this story as well. You know, obviously in the movie, there's no vocals and no, songs. So it still has all the wonderful songs from, of course, the movie, but the story is told through song and dance. And it's just so much fun. I love the story. I grew up with it. I love what Lurhmann did with the film, but we're doing something extra special because we have the biggest star in the world in the show, and that is the gorgeous Kevin Clifton, who is going to bring amazement to this part. I can't wait to finally start work. Of course, we open on the 27th of September in the Theatre Royal Plymouth, which I love. I've done so many shows there. I did Spend. I've started lots of shows down there. So I'm very much looking forward to that. And with the tail end of the summer, which will be gorgeous, and we'll be on the ho, darling.
Just so the mere fact that I mean, it is a long way away, but nevertheless, the mere fact that we could be talking about stuff like this,
date in the diary, guys. We're going out. We're going to the theatre.
Watching a show and going out. Kevin, so for you, how do you feel taking on a role like this? You know, it is as Craig was saying then. You know, it's a singing role as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing musicals for a couple of years now, but this one in particular, I watched the movie when I was about 10 years old, and I turned around to my parents at the time and said, one day they're going to make a show out of this on stage, and I'm going to play Scott Hastings, the lead role. And he became a bit of a hero of mine, like growing up in the ballroom competition world, like my life sort of mirrored his story quite a bit. And yeah, I've always wanted to do this. It was a bit of a sort of life goal of mine, and I auditioned when it first came around to the West End. Didn't get the part, and when I heard that it was going out on tour, I was like, I have to go for this with everything I've got. And then I heard Craig was going to be directing, and I thought, oh no, he's never going to give me the job. He was always so harsh on me on Strictly, and he was like always the strict one with me, to the point where, I don't know if Craig remembers this, but there was one time after the show, I went up to Craig and said, "What have I got to do to impress you? Because I feel like you always come down on me and my celebrity partners. What have I got to do to impress you?" And he said, "Darling, you must dance better."
Oh my God, Craig, you are brutal. So what are you? So we know that you are a tough judge. There's no doubt about that. What are you like as a director? Are you equally as tough?
I'm worse. Only because I want the best from them. The difference between Strictly and me, directing, of course, is the fact that I get to choose who's in the show. So I'm already in love with the people that I've employed, and I know that they can do the job. And it's my job to love, nurture, embrace. On Strictly, I never get to choose who's on the show, and I just have to judge that 1 minute 30, whether it be good or bad. So it's very, very different. I'm obviously in love with Kevin Clifton. That's why he's doing the role, and his Australian accent is immaculate. I could not believe it. I mean, I felt like I was back home, darling. It's incredible. But he's such a fantastic actor, and people don't know him as an actor or as a singer in that way. I mean, we all know he can dance brilliantly, but I don't think everyone is fully aware of how brilliant he is as an actor, and he's going to be able to tell the story fantastically well. We've just got to find him a nice Fran, don't we, darling? So we're doing all the casting. Yeah.
So are you auditioning
gonna
now?
be
That you're looking for the leading lady?
Yeah, looking for the leading lady at the moment, and we're going to go sort of more public with it in April. So that should be good fun to find a Fran and find someone that will complement him.
What
obviously.
about Stacey?
Oh, I was going to say you.
No, I can't dance.
Well,
Stacey won Strictly with you, though. It's the perfect pairing.
I know.
Have you heard Stacey sing, though?
Did you just say she
A
can't sing?
beginner falling in love with an open amateur. Fantastic. Yeah, I love Stacey. I think she's fabulous.
So that got muddled up in the words a little bit there then. So, Kevin, can Stacey sing?
No, not at all. No, she's a terrible singer. She loves singing. She's never got Little Mix or Gloria Estefan on in the house, but she's not the greatest singer.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
It's going to have to be you.
I'll just have to do it. There you go. So while we're talking about Strictly, obviously, Craig, you know, I love the show. I couldn't believe, again, this weekend, Maisie in the dance-off.
I know, I can't believe that. And when you consider people were voting for Anne Widdecombe and she got through to 11, you know, the 11th show in the series, I mean, it's quite unbelievable. Maisie is fantastic. She just needs to win the hearts and minds of the nation. You know, that I think, and sometimes that's a slower build. I mean, I remember Alicia Dixon being on the show and she was in the bottom quite a few times. And then she went on to win it, of course, and then became a judge on the show. So you never know what might happen. And sometimes it is a slow burner. And I'm hoping that is the case because she's a fantastic dancer. She's a lovely, lovely girl. Yeah. And I really want to see her go through.
Yeah,
and what is it like in there now during this sort of second lockdown? You've likened it to being in prison.
Well, it is. It is because I'm just stuck in my dressing room, and then of course only one person is allowed on the stairwell at any one time. You can't really say hello to anybody, or it is through a mask. You know, I'm wearing a mask as well as the shield, so it's really quite lonely actually. As much as it's still fun and everyone's getting on with it, but it's not the experience we're used to. But I think that's for everybody in the world, isn't it? I think we're all just trying to deal with it, get used to it. And I'm just so pleased that the BBC have managed to get the show on and keep it on, through all of these lockdowns. Thank God, because it's just such a wonderful show. It's happy, it's fun. I mean, I'm not always in that mood, I understand that. But I'm there to do a job, and that's what I do. But I am
love
happy.
you. Out of all the judges, my kids love you. I'm like, why do you? What? Listen to what he's saying. But I tell you what, you think that you're mean and the rest of it, but secretly, I think everybody loves you to bits. They know you're a softie inside.
And Kevin, what about you? What's the next thing for you to do? Because bearing in mind that we're talking about a show that's going to be on September, what's happening now?
Well, I've been doing some performances with my sister. Like just before lockdown, sort of an evening with Kevin and Joanne, and then we go back out in January. And other than that, I'm watching Strictly like everyone else. I've become like an obsessive fan of Strictly Come Dancing now, and I'm commenting on everyone's dances. And like Craig was just saying, so I know Maisie a little bit, and she's a really lovely girl, and she's doing so well, and I really want to see her go further. So everyone get voting for Maisie.
Yeah, I know. They're all good. They're Ranveer, loving Ranveer.
And who'd have thought Bill would be so amazing? Who would have thought that?
Clara's too tough. Anyway, what we're talking about is Strictly Ballroom the Musical. It's touring from September 2021, and tickets are now on sale from strictlyballroomtour.co.uk. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.